because this. Oh, okay, we're live.
Yeah, you want to talk about your consulting? It's good too. It's good.
Okay.
Whatever you want to mention is good. We are different.
Yes, exactly. And I just wanted to say that we have a webinar on Thursday for free as well. So yeah, we can talk about
Yeah,
that
sure,
later.
sure, definitely. Please shout it out. Okay, let me check. I think
We are
we are
live.
live.
We are live.
Hi everyone. I think there are 15 people watching on Facebook, and I'm not sure how many people are watching on LinkedIn. It's still loading. So hey, today
Hi,
we are going to
everyone.
talk in these times, in these hard times by leveraging LinkedIn. And today we have a guest here to share her perspective from literally the other side of the world. So we have Kotryna Kurt, co-founder of Linkedist. And she has been a personal brand marketer. She's been a marketer. We've been in touch for more than 2 years now. This is, we've been on LinkedIn. I've been talking to her. LinkedIn is borderless. So, we've been talking from across the world for more than 2 years now. And I thought in these times, why not get Kotryna here and to answer some of your questions and to share with us, some tips on how to attract leads on LinkedIn. So Kotryna, welcome to the live.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be on this live with you and also talk with you after such a long time, because I think like it's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. And most of my audience here are from Malaysia, and a lot of them are from Singapore and India as well. So let's say hi to them. So hi, Rainy. We are live now. Hi, Bhavani. Hi, Daniel. Hi, Dave. So hi, everyone who's watching. Hi, Derek as well. And on LinkedIn, I hope I can see who is live. But LinkedIn and Facebook as well. If you have any questions for me and Kotryna, please post them. And we'll see if we can answer them. So yeah, we are live on LinkedIn as well. So Kotryna, can you, before we jump, right, can you explain what does Linkedist do for its clients?
Of course. So here at Linkedist, we help other businesses grow with the power of LinkedIn, meaning that we help them with content creation, we help them with brand awareness, we help them with LinkedIn campaigns, advertising campaigns, and also employee branding. So really anything around LinkedIn for the companies, anything around content creation on LinkedIn or ad campaigns, we can help companies with. And finally, we also do some internal and virtual workshops where we just explain how to use LinkedIn as well. So in a nutshell, we are just a small company, very niche company, helping other companies grow on LinkedIn.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So I do something quite similar as well. For the audience who don't know me, I'm a B2B marketing consultant here in Asia. So I do LinkedIn training like yourself, but mostly in clients in Malaysia and Singapore and also Hong Kong. So, after this whole webinar session at the end, I will also talk about a LinkedIn training bootcamp that I'll be launching just for this lockdown. So for the audience, Kotryna is based in Copenhagen in Denmark, right? So if there is any internet issues, because we are, connecting across the sea, we apologize in advance. But you're talking to her right now. It's 10 a.m. in Copenhagen, and if you have any questions about, marketing in on LinkedIn in Europe or whatever, you can post it to Kotryna as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Kotryna, so first question that I get a lot. So when I open up the registrations, I actually ask people, what is their question when it comes to LinkedIn, and the most question that I get is how to get started. How to get started on LinkedIn, and it's very important because I think most people in Asia and across the world, they have a LinkedIn profile because it has been their resume for all these years. They just have it there and it's dormant. And now that this crisis, or no, this hard times hit us, they say, "Oh my God, I need to use it." so, so how does someone get started in this? If they have a profile?
I think it starts with, and I bet you also say the same, it starts with a strong profile. So just like making sure that you update everything on your profile to really represent you in the best way possible, making sure that everything is up to date. And then when you figure that out, when you updated your profile, I think then it's important to think about why you want to do these things, why you want to be active, what is your final goal. And depending on that goal, because for some people it's to find a new job, for some people, it's to just brand themselves. Depending on the end goal, then you can try creating your content plan or like creating a strategy for that. Because I think a lot of people hear that it's good to be on LinkedIn and then want to be on LinkedIn, but don't have a clue, don't have a goal. So I think it's good to start with something with like a goal in mind.
Yeah, so starting out, you have a good point there is to have a goal. So when I sit down with clients or with my training, attendees, I'll say, so what is your goal? Who do you want to reach on LinkedIn? What sort of services are you selling? So you need to get that clear in your mind before you actually set up, your profile. So I always sit down and it's more like a discovery session. Many people don't know. Oh, actually, one of the common things my clients tell me is, I have so many things to sell, right?
Mhm.
I can do marketing, I can do email marketing, I can do SEO, whatever they say. I have so many things, but it's very
Mhm.
important on LinkedIn to focus on one thing. Let's say you are, an SEO expert, then focus on SEO. When you get them as a client, when you get more clients, you can say, hey, I do SEO, but I'm also an expert in email marketing. But it's very important, for your profile on LinkedIn to focus on one thing. Do you think so?
Yeah, I agree, because often I say to my personal branding clients that if you really want to be known in a specific area, you need to brand yourself all the time in that specific area. And when people are sitting there and thinking like, "Oh, who should we get as a speaker for leadership?" They will remember that person who was posting the most about leadership. So that's the effect you want to have on people. You want to plant a seed in their mind that whenever the time comes and whenever the opportunity arises, you're going to be the one they're going to think about.
Yep, yep. So when you focus, that's your good example on leadership. So if you talk about leadership coaching, and I've seen a lot of people on LinkedIn do this, when
Hmm.
they focus on one thing, when people think of that one thing, they'll think of you. So it's very important to focus, when it comes to personal brand and LinkedIn as well. And
Exactly.
my tip for the LinkedIn profile, if you're getting started, the most important thing, besides you only get one shot. It's like Eminem say, you get
Mm,
one shot, and you get that one shot of your one picture on LinkedIn, one profile picture, right? It has to be a smiling picture. So like mine, it's a smiling picture, yours as well.
yeah.
You only get one shot, and make sure you have your full head. You get your one shot. You have to get the chance that you have to take. And one important tip I always tell people who attend my training is the headline is very important. So let's say your example of leadership coaching, you have to include
Mhm.
those keywords in the headline. So I say the SEO of LinkedIn, the search
Mm.
engine on LinkedIn, happens on the headline. So when someone searches for leadership coaching, they will find you because you have it in their headline, right?
Yes. Yes,
Yes.
I completely agree. It's the headline, it's whatever you have in your summary about section as well. It counts as well, like as keywords, and it's all of it. But the headline is super important for the SEO purposes as well.
Yeah, it's where people can find your services on LinkedIn. So, for
Mm,
example, if you're a graphic designer, when people look for it, you need to have graphic designer in your headline, so that
mm,
automatically, if you're starting out, that gets you the inbound leads when it comes
exactly.
to LinkedIn. So, good tip there, Katrina. So I just want to say hi to everyone.
Yes.
Hi Yishan. Hi. So there are about 72 people now watching, around 70 people watching on Facebook, and I see some
Wonderful.
on 14 people on LinkedIn.
Hello,
We
everyone.
are we are touching almost 100. So just want to address some. I think a question came in. So a question came in from Bhavani. So I just want to get your thoughts on this, Katrina. So
Mhm.
Katrina asked, Bhavani asked. So I noticed that business page posts do not get the same kind of engagement as compared to your own post if the content is the same. How do we create more traffic to a business page? So I'll answer that first. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I when I get this question, I'll ask clients, why do you want to actually push more traffic to your business page?
Mm-hmm.
Because a business page, or we call it a corporate profile, is important. Uh, but the selling happens, or the leads happens with a personal profile. Let's say when you talk about a leadership coach or a trainer, they actually want to work with you, and how you engage them with conversation happens on the personal profile. So that's the question I would ask. So what's your experience with a corporate page, Katrina?
Mm, I think there are many strategies because we're working
Mm,
with companies, basically helping them to create content and increase brand awareness. But in this case, I would say, like, try to think of your page. And this is a common mistake I see, that a lot of company pages are only about the company. They're nothing else but like, look at us, look at me, look at the company, look at us, look at us. Whereas I always say that you need to think that your page, your company page, can be much more than just a page about the company. It can also
mm,
be a page about the latest news in the industry that your company is
mm,
working in. So in that case, all the people who are following the company page, they would come to your company page not only for you, but also because they would know that they can read about some news in the industry, right? So like, try to make your business page more than just a business page.
yes. I share with some of my corporate clients that, on your personal profile, you can create content on yourself. Let's say, Katrina, you can create content. But on a corporate page, it's a chance to create corporate branding. So it's
Mm-hmm.
a chance for you to create content together as a company. Let's say, the whole HR department, the whole marketing department can create content
Mm-hmm.
there. And it's a very good place, especially for the business page, to actually be a tool for employer branding. So, before I join a company, I'll look at their LinkedIn page and see, who are the staff
Mm-hmm.
there, what's happening. So yeah, different type of content will help. So Bhavani, different type of content will help with the engagement. And also there's a new feature on LinkedIn. I just want to point this out, that you can invite people to follow your corporate page. You can send an invite. Let's say, Katrina is my connection, or Bhavani, you're my connection. I can actually invite you right now. This is just a recent update. I think it was last month or something, that you can now invite
Yes.
people
Yeah.
to actually follow your corporate page. So thanks for your question, Bhavani, and thanks for watching us. And yeah, hold on, let me just, yeah. So thanks for your question. So thanks everyone for watching, and I hope you share this video as well. Help to like us, and let more questions come in. If you have more questions, let me see if there are any questions from LinkedIn. Not yet. So yeah, so not
Maybe
yet, but
let me see if
yes.
I did make sure to share it, but I think I shared it. So let's see if some of the European audience, early birds, might join us as well.
Yeah, cool. I think we have a global audience. So we just got a new question from Derek. So let me put it up here. So he is asking about LinkedIn for brick and mortar business, retail. So Derek, if you could tell us, what type of retail business it is, then we could get back to
Mm-hmm.
you. Or
Yeah.
I would just say this right now. LinkedIn is very good, especially for high ticket products, for B2B marketing, and for services. But
Mm-hmm.
it'll be very interesting to know what sort of retail business are you referring to. So thanks for your question. So I think we talked about a little bit about the profile optimization just now. So besides the headline, Katrina, what other aspects of a profile that you think people could actually could actually leverage on? What can they improve mostly in the
Mm-hmm.
profile?
Again, I would say that summary is quite important, because if you have a really nice summary that is selling, it could be, it could be attracting more people towards your website. Another thing is the newest, the newest feature in the profile, which is called featured. And that's the place where you can include your links to your Calendly. For booking meetings with you, you can include a link to your website. So that kind of section is also
Mm.
very, very important, because people see these big pictures, and it's much more like interactive, right, than before, where we used to have like a smaller ones in the about
Yeah.
section. And then I would say there are a lot of ways. For instance, another way is to sell via your background picture. So right away in the background picture, you can already say what you can help people with, or like leave your email, leave
Mm.
your phone number. So that can be another small way how you can encourage sales. So I think if you optimize your profile really well and have these different sections where you kind of put in more like CTAs, more like
Mm.
your emails, all of your contact information, then there's just more opportunities, more possibilities that people are going to actually call you or like
Yeah.
contact you.
Yeah, it's very important. So I like your point there. So CTAs for my audience is call to actions. So for non-marketing people, they might not understand. So it's very important. I see this a lot of profiles. They don't have a CTA. That means they don't have a call to action. Whether it
Mhm.
is a Calendly link, to book appointment with you, or an email link or a website. So
Mhm.
have one place for you to drive all the traffic to. And I would say, one of the best ways is to message people, or actually put appointment link there. So that's a very important thing. And I particularly like this new feature on LinkedIn. I think it's quite recent as well. I like the featured function. Right now, it's very important if you're a coach, you're a trainer, to
Mhm.
put in your client testimonials, your training videos, your keynote videos, and of maybe
Yes.
some of your slide shares. So that is a very prominent section of the profile. It's like in the middle. So please utilize the featured function as well.
Well said. Well
Yeah.
said.
So back to Derek's question, right? He has actually answered us. He has said he runs a stationery business. So yeah, I think stationery business would work well on LinkedIn.
What
Um,
is
so
exactly a stationary business?
so he sells stationery is like so Derek, I assume that you sell in bulk pencils, stationery, tools to use in the office, pencils,
Oh, like that. Okay.
rubber
Mhm.
pens, and whatever. So on LinkedIn, you'll find a lot of people working in human resource or procurement that would actually be your B2B client. So it's not so much retail business that LinkedIn can help you, but LinkedIn can help you in bulk orders. So if you start creating conversations with people working in human resource, which generally handles the stationery, with people working in procurement that generally orders the papers, the
Mhm.
pencils, to the pens. You create conversation with them, and you can position yourself as the stationery guy here in Malaysia. So you'll get orders from big companies here if they are looking for a stationery on LinkedIn. Anything to add, Kotryna?
Mm. No, I completely agree with you on this one. I think if you can try to just position yourself in a way where you can yeah, apply something to your audience, like share some good tips, or somehow attract your audience, then it will be all right. And I think it will mostly generate, yeah, these B2B sales coming from HR managers or other people who need similar supplies for the office.
Yeah, thanks so much for your question, Derek. And I see Facebook here is quite active. I think he has some questions here on
Mm.
Facebook. So hi Roberto. Hi. So Roberto, yes, the link is to Facebook because I can't
Hello,
get the link
everyone.
before the live to LinkedIn. I think we have a question on. We
Okay,
have a
I'm just
question
going
from
to share
Lawrence.
the Facebook Live. Yes.
So the question is, so Lawrence has a question. So he said he has written a
Mm-hmm.
blog on his own website. Is there
Mm-hmm.
any difference if he just shares the website link on his on my LinkedIn post or introduce the entire article or on article as LinkedIn as an article. So Kotryna, I would love your thoughts on this.
Mhm. Hi, Lawrence. Thanks for the question. So in this case, I like to often say that it's not so nice to duplicate content and have the exact same content in two places on the internet. So my advice here is usually to take a little bit of your article, post a little bit like the beginning of your article in a post or as an article on LinkedIn, and say that if people want to continue reading, if they want to like continue reading more of the article, they can click here and then go to another blog website where you have published it. So I think it's a good way to avoid duplicating content and maybe giving a little bit of the beginning of your article as an article on LinkedIn, and then if they want to continue, they can go to your
Mm.
blog or Medium or somewhere else. At least that's how I see it. How about you, Bob?
Yeah, I of course don't encourage duplication of content, but don't post the blog article on LinkedIn just like this. Don't just put the link there, because if you post it as a link there, you'll get less engagement. Because in general, the LinkedIn algorithm does not favor external links. They don't want you to, hey, exit the website and go to
Mhm.
exit LinkedIn and go to your website. So it's more important if you have articles to actually have articles just for LinkedIn as well. So because on LinkedIn, that's where your engagement is. That's where people are. So posting articles and on LinkedIn natively will definitely help instead of directing them outside of LinkedIn. So try to create articles
Yeah,
specific for LinkedIn,
I
and on the engagement part, there's you tag people. Yeah,
so I
yeah. So
think
there's ways to help the engagement.
I think there was a little misunderstanding. So actually, what I mean is that not just posting a link in a post, but more like in the LinkedIn article, you just create a little bit of your real article as a LinkedIn
Mhm.
article. And then in the end of the LinkedIn article, you say that, hey, if you want to read more, here's the link. So actually, the link is in the LinkedIn article, which is just the
Mhm.
beginning of your real article, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, what I'm referring to be clear as well, is some people just like to post that link itself
Mhm.
on the feed, which is not advisable. But
No, no.
Kotryna's hack is quite good if you just want to have a teaser and direct people to your website. So that's good as well. So we have actually we I just saw it. We actually have questions all the way from LinkedIn as well. So
Woohoo!
I don't know if
Nice.
you can see it, Kotryna, but I'll just pick a question from LinkedIn because we
Yeah.
cannot be too biased to Facebook. So actually,
No.
there are a lot of people saying hi on LinkedIn. Let
Hello.
me see. Hello. So there's one question coming from Edmund Lim on LinkedIn. He said, so his question is, I see from time to time, people connect with him and send a cold message just to promote their product. What would your advice be, when it comes to B2B marketing? Do you encourage people to send cold messages like this?
I so okay. One of the ways to generate leads is, of course, through cold outreach, and I do believe that if you really know your audience, if you have done your research, and you prepared some really good messages and message flows, you can do a really nice cold outreach campaign. However, I do see a lot of people abusing cold outreach technique because they're just messaging you straight away with the whole sales pitch, with all their websites, with all their contact information, without even telling you what they do, or sending you like a bunch of messages. And that's not a way that it works, at least not in Europe. Maybe you can correct me in a few seconds how it works in Malaysia, but in Europe, it doesn't work like that. And most of the times, I would say 95 of the times, people would actually not even reply to your message because they feel bombarded. They feel like their personal space has been, like interrupted with this whole selling message, and there's no way to build a nice relationship. So in this case, I really highly recommend first writing a few messages, asking how the person is doing, thanking for connecting, and then later on asking maybe what are the problems in the company, maybe there's a
Mm.
way to help. uh, like how can you be useful, does a person have any questions around the topic you're offering your services. So like doing this in the beginning will change everything for you, and then later on you can start saying like, well, okay, I can see that I cannot help you right now, but if at any point you feel like you need services like these, feel free to contact me here. So then a person suddenly feels like they have the power of contacting you, and you're not forcing anything on them. So that's how I imagine cold outreach in Europe, at least.
Yeah, it applies across the world, Kotryna. So what you said is very important. It's building rapport. So
Hmm.
you can go cold, but it's important to warm up the lead. So what you said just now, asking them what are their challenges, asking them what is their situation. That is building
Hmm.
rapport. So once you build rapport, and then asking them once you find there's a need, they say they hey they have this problem in their business. That's where you can ask them, hey, I think I can help you. We would like to jump on a call. So
Yeah.
it's more building rapport and identify their need. But there is a place for cold outreach. But I would say if you really want to do a cold outreach, make sure it's very personalized. Make sure that hey, if you're doing SEO, hey, I looked at your website and I think these are the three things that could improve your website, and it's very personalized, then the cold
Yeah.
outreach will work. So if you really need to send cold outreach, don't make it a generic message, to 100 people, but make it personalized. That hey, I looked at this, and these are the things that you should work on, and that type of cold outreach might work. It might take more time, but the chances of a reply is higher.
I completely agree with you on that one. I think definitely personalization and being offering something like in exchange just for free without any expectations, giving free advice, giving 10 minutes of free strategy call is something that's definitely gonna get more people attention than just like sending all the contact information.
All right, Derek, thanks. So thanks for your point, Kotryna, as well. So Derek, thanks that we are happy to help. So if any questions after this, you can direct it to Kotryna and myself as well. So during everyone who's watching, please help to share this video. And if you're watching on LinkedIn, please connect with Kotryna on LinkedIn as well. So I think there are a lot of questions coming in just live,
Whoa,
and
nice.
yeah, so we have a question from Vin. Vin Tan. So Vin Tan. So he said, how can I increase my visibility to business owners, entrepreneurs, and top level management executives? So Kotryna, what's your thoughts on this?
So maybe it's time to talk a little bit about content creation and personal branding as well.
Mm-hmm.
One way to really increase the visibility is by creating content yourself in the area that you are willing to brand yourself in, and that will definitely eventually, after doing it for a while consistently, will attract new eyes, new eyeballs looking at your content, and the attention hopefully from the people you want to attract. And another way is while you're creating this content for the people who might be interested in the content, like business owners, entrepreneurs, and so forth, you should also at the same time try to add those people into your network. So you actually make sure that you add them, and then you create content to keep on top of their minds. So that's like one way to do it, I think.
Yeah, so that's a good point. So um, first, I think the connection part is very important. So to get, let's say, to get top level management executives to see your content, it will be very helpful if you're already connected to them on LinkedIn, if they are part of your connections.
Mhm.
So LinkedIn is amazing. So I would highly recommend you, after this, to send a personalized connection request to all the top level management executives here in Malaysia. So once let's say you're connected to 200 CEOs, right, 200 managing directors here in Malaysia, when you post content, and like Kotryna said, when you post content that is on top of their mind, let's say their challenges, how to manage staff, how do I get through this crisis, how do I lead in times like this. When you create content that is, directed to them, that's where you can really reach them. And it would help even if you would think that this content is relevant to them, to tag them in the post as well. So like me, I get this all the time. I think Kotryna get this all the time, that hey, people ask me, why do you do so many videos? I've seen you on LinkedIn. I meet people on the streets. They say, I've seen you on LinkedIn. And I get on calls with clients. They say, I've seen your video for 2 years. So visibility is not hard. It's consistency as well. So like
Mhm.
myself and Kotryna, we consistently create a lot of content like this. Kotryna is doing a webinar this Thursday as well. When we consistently show up, that's where the visibility is. It's not just posting one content every week or one
Mm,
content every month. If you keep up the consistency, that's where your visibility, that's where you have visibility.
agree.
So
Agree.
thanks for your question, Vin. That's a very good question. Um, so, um,
And
so
another, I guess I would just quickly add another way to also attract people towards your profile. If you really don't want to create content, and if you feel like, okay, I'm not this kind of person who creates content. I don't like to write. I don't like to do any of that. Another way, like a saving life saving, what do you call, like I forgot what it's called. The thing you throw in the water.
the like the float.
Yeah, the flow can be engaging. So, as Gary Vee as well is saying, that if you don't want to create content, but you want to get the same or even better results, you can start just like engaging with others people content who have big audiences already, and like attract their audience towards your profile with really nice and insightful comments. And those comments should not be like great post, nice post, and something like that, but it should be really long, valuable comments that people who are watching those people's content and reading it would see your comment and would go to your profile. So in that way, you don't even need to create a lot of content around yourself, but maybe use this like leeching strategy and basically just like go and take the audience from other people.
Okay, that's a hack. That's a hack.
That's a hack.
Yeah, Katrina. So since you're from Europe, I have this question, from Min, and I also have the similar question from Kasin. Kasin, I think she's from. She said Kasin on LinkedIn asked, "Do you encourage languages to create content?" And Tain is actually from Vietnam, so he asked, if you have two audiences in different languages, would you suggest to post them in two different languages?
That's a good question. It's always really, really difficult to answer this one because it depends again on your goal. Like, do you want to be present with both audiences? That's the first question you need to think about. Another one is, um, does one of your audience understand um, two languages? So meaning like, for instance, if I post in English, which I always post just in English, even though I have a lot of people from Lithuania because that's where I'm originally from, however, I still post in English because I know they know English. So yes, it's not gonna connect with them on the same level as it would be if I would post in Lithuanian, but they understand English. So then I just keep it all international and all in English. So I think you need to think like, do both audiences understand the same language, then which one, and like, do you really want to be present in both audiences, or you want to like be more branded in one language and in one audience, and the other one is just gonna follow anyways. So like, I think you need to sit down and really think what's your goal.
Yeah, yeah. So Min being from Vietnam, I think if you want to do two languages, then you really have to up your content game. Let's say you cannot just have one post in English in 1 week. You need to
Mm,
really have equal number of posts in both languages if you really want to do both, right? I understand the value of doing different languages, and there for Katrina, there is a big community here in Asia using LinkedIn in Chinese. So
mhm.
there is a big
Okay.
need there. But if you want to do, then it's more work. You really have to um, put it equal work in both languages. So thanks, Min, for your question. So Win followed up. So she said, that's great. Thanks for the suggestions. He said how many percent of his content will be shared to how many percent of his connections. That's a LinkedIn algorithm question. Kotryna, do you have thoughts on this?
I always say that really good results is when at least uh, like when your post is going to get at least half of the views of the number of your connections and followers. So meaning if you have 10,000 followers, your posts are doing good if you at least get 5,000 views, and more, of course. So I don't really know like what's the distribution, because it often depends on, and that's why again I love LinkedIn, because you don't have to have a lot of people in your connections. If you create good content, if it brings value, some people will start engaging and it might explode. It might reach like 20,000 people or more. So it really depends on what type of content you're creating, because if you will be creating content that doesn't bring value to anyone, it might reach 100 people just. But if you will create a piece of content that is going to be super valuable, it might reach like 20 or 10,000 people.
Yeah, and I would like to engage this question in another angle. So good points, Katrina. So I've seen, back to Katrina's point, I've seen people with little connections, but their posts get 20,000 views, 100,000 views because they share the relevant content. They share content that's very controversial, or it triggers discussion points. So another thing that I teach in my LinkedIn training as well, and I might talk about this later in when I introduce the bootcamp, is to get your content distribution better. And LinkedIn creators know this, Katrina, but I think most of the public don't know this. Is your content on LinkedIn depends on your engagement.
Mm-hmm.
So when Katrina posts something, this is something that she does automatically anyway. She will tag people. She will like it. She will get the engagement up in especially the first hour or the first few hours. If your content gets a lot of engagement in the first few hours, the chances of it getting much more distribution is much is
Yes.
much higher. So when you post content, a few things you need to take note of. Like right now, it's 4:30 p.m. here in Malaysia. It's a good time to post content because most people are online and most people are in their office, right?
Mm-hmm.
Working at home or whatever. It's a good time to post. So a good time gets you good engagement, and there are a few hacks, like tagging people, sending the content to people will help you with that engagement as well to get you better distribution.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
Yeah, yeah. So that's how you get more distribution for your content. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you keep sharing this video. Um, and I think there is a question from Dasa. I think she's from Europe. So there's a question from LinkedIn. So she asked, "What is your opinion about paid LinkedIn ads?" So that's yeah,
Okay. Should I start?
yeah. You can.
Okay. So LinkedIn ads definitely a good tool to reach your audience. I really love LinkedIn ads because even though they might be more expensive than, for instance, Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads can really help you reach your audience, the right CEOs, the right managers, business owners, whatever not, because you can really use a lot of filters to narrow it down. Now, what you need to know about LinkedIn ads is that you'll have to spend some money for experimentation, and results are not going to be so quickly coming as from, let's say, Facebook. However, if you are using the right techniques, if you know how to run LinkedIn ads, you can get really good results. You can get really quality leads if you run the right campaigns, right? This is why we are helping companies with Linkedist to run these campaigns, because we want to avoid companies like throwing money into the air. And yeah, LinkedIn ads are also super cool because they allow you to target people in many different ways. And for instance, one of the newest ad types that came out just a while, like a week or two ago, is conversational ads, where now you can actually send messages via chat function to people, and they will appear as a conversation, and then you'll be able to click on different options to get the like on different buttons, and it will work as a chat bot. So that is something new that LinkedIn introduced, and that is something super interesting and super cool. I think a lot of companies will jump on that now. But yeah, LinkedIn ads in a nutshell, super great, works if you know how to run them and if you know how to optimize them.
Yeah, good point, Katrina. And I agree that LinkedIn ads is super powerful. It's very expensive, especially here in Asia. But it can reach people that it's super targeted. So, for example, Derek, if you want to reach all the HR managers or everyone in procurement, you can actually target people with specific positions in a company to a specific company size. Let's say you want companies with 200 people and below, 1,000 people and above. You can target that specific. That's why it's very expensive. You can even send ads to all the CEOs in Malaysia. So it's very targeted. That's why it's expensive. So yeah, yeah, it's worth it because it's targeted. And one way to actually use it is to actually send it to for lead generation. So I've experienced it. The best. So you talk about conversational ads, which is the new feature, but a lot of people. So I talked to AJ Wilcox on this, who is the LinkedIn expert before. The best ad format on LinkedIn is a lead generation ad, where you get them to download a white paper or ebook or some sort of lead magnet. So LinkedIn ads, definitely use it if you want to target very specific people. Of course, a lot of people don't use LinkedIn ads because the organic reach is so great. Even without using ads, you can get very good reach with your content, and you can there's no limit to there's actually 30,000 limit to the connections that you can make. So a lot of people have a lot of results without using ads. But if you're a company, that you want results straight away, LinkedIn ads is a good investment. So thanks for your question. So I have another question from LinkedIn. So Jack Yap from LinkedIn. So Jack Yap is selling printers. He's a digital printing consultant. So he's a salesperson. So he said it's a niche market because not many people use printers, and most of his recommendations are from overseas. Can he use LinkedIn locally? So on LinkedIn as well. So I'll just answer this question in LinkedIn is a very global platform, right? People you can reach. So I've worked with clients from Europe. I've worked with clients from Hong Kong, from the rest of the world with LinkedIn. So there are no borders. So if you want to work with people locally, it's important to connect with more people locally. But for other people who are wondering if you can work with an international audience, Kotryna is here. We connected right across the world, and we are doing this interview here. We are also connected with a lot of people in the US, in Australia, so different parts of the world. So if you're, going to do business internationally, or if you have not done business internationally, LinkedIn is a good platform to actually see how your product works in the international market.
I don't have much to add. I think you said it all.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good problem. So good question. So next question from Facebook, right? So I think this is a personal branding question as well. So I just want to get your thoughts on this, Kotryna. So is there such a thing as so much content? So this is a question from Daniel Cervantes, right? He said, would there be such a thing as so much content? Is there an overkill of content? So what are your thoughts on this, Kotryna?
Yeah. I think there has to be a balance, of course. Maybe being too active can lead to overdose of people of your content, and like people will be not engaging as much as they would if they would feel that there is a lack of something. So a really good example could be that, for instance, when I was not doing lives so often, then more people would join for the lives once in a while. If I would do them all the time, like every single day, then people would feel like, oh, if I don't watch it today, I'll watch it tomorrow. Doesn't matter. So just to avoid like people becoming used to whatever you're doing, is important, and try to like see, okay, how is it going? Is the engagement dropping now? Is it still the same? Like if it's dropping, why it's dropping, and so forth. So I think it's just there's no right or wrong way, but it's good to just look at your analytics all the time and see
Mhm.
like, is it going down, or is it the same, or is it going up, and then kind of reflect on that and do more of what's going well.
So Daniel just reiterated it's his problem. I don't think it's your problem, Daniel. There is no such thing as too much content. So me and Kotryna, we follow Gary Vee, right? So I have personally met him as well. So he has so much content. He has like 3 Instagram posts per day. So much. Now every day he's doing live videos. He has so much
Mm,
content on LinkedIn, or on Instagram, on YouTube, you name it. There is no such thing as too much content as long as you're providing value. And another thing, if you look at Gary's content or look at my content or Kotryna's content as well, you can create content 3 times a day, 4 times a day, no problem. But make sure it's a mixture of content. So like this
mm,
interview, we can cut it out into small parts, and there will be so many good solid nuggets
yeah.
here. But I cannot post the same interview 3 times a day. People are like, oh, is it the same video Bob is posting again? You if you want to post content, in a high frequency, make sure you mix it up. Some can be this, some can be pictures, some can be you just talking to the camera, some can be live with another guest.
Mm,
So if you want to have a lot of content, look at Gary Vee's feed. You have to have a variety. You have to mix it up. So then people will know. But you know, especially in these times, there's no so much thing as too much content, because as we are in lockdown across the world, we are looking for content to consume. We are looking for lives to watch. We are looking for videos to watch. We want to have live interactions like this. So that's why we're doing it more often. And especially now, it's not a time to worry about too much content. It's a time to worry, am I creating enough content or not?
yeah, definitely agree. And I also just wanted to say that maybe it's true. There's not too much content because it depends like who you're really attracting. For your friends and family, it might already be too much, but they're not your audience, so you shouldn't care about what they think. uh, on the other hand, it's very important, as Bob says, to keep the value, because if you're gonna post a lot and the value of your content is decreasing and it becomes more random and becomes less focused, then it's gonna go down. But if you're gonna continue keeping the value, you're providing the value with every single post you make, then it's gonna be all right no matter how much you post.
Yep. Good. Thanks for your question, and thanks for the reply, Katrina. I think that is valuable. It's also very valuable to look at the analytics and see what content works very well, and also create more of the same content. So
Yes.
I think we have to address some of the questions that came in through the registration. So one of the questions is to how do they get started to do lead gen? I think we talked about optimizing the profile, but how does someone start doing lead generation on LinkedIn?
Hmm. So I think we need to first of all mention that there are two different areas for lead generation. One is paid lead generation and another one is organic lead generation. So
Mm,
if we talk about organic lead generation, there are a few ways. One is creating content on your own profile. That's one way to generate leads, because you are attracting the attention of the people who can be your potential buyers with your content. That's one way. So
mhm,
content. Another way is generating leads with engaging. So you are engaging on some other people's content and you are attracting their audience towards your profile, and that is also generating leads for you. I think the third free way to generate leads is, we also touched a little bit upon this, it's via cold outreach. However, here you need to make sure that the person who's receiving your messages, they receive some really nice and personalized and tailored messages from you if you're doing cold outreach. I think the last free organic way to generate leads is via employee branding. So really making sure that your employees in the company, they are, creating content. It's not only you, but also other people posting something and sharing and increasing the brand awareness, and in that way, like attracting more people towards your business. So 4 ways how to generate leads for free: content, engaging with other people, using employee branding, and doing cold outreach.
Yeah, that's good points, Kotryna. And we sort of answered this in the Q&A as well, because it's not directly attributed to lead gen, but like what you said, visibility. So I actually have a process for that. So visibility, if you are on LinkedIn constantly, that's where you are visible and you have content out there. That's where you generate leads, because people see you, you talk to people. That's where people want to work with you. And if you, the more value you provide, the more tips and expertise that you show on LinkedIn, that's where you get inbound leads. And
Mm,
in my experience, the clients that come through content are the best clients, because they are so at the
yeah.
point of your content. They really want to work with you, and they really want to be part of what you do. Secondly, the second type of is engagement. So whoever has watched your content, you have to engage them. People who like and comment your content, you send them a message and talk to them, and identify their needs, build the rapport, like you said, and ask them what are their needs, and move them on to help, eventually helping them. This can also be
Mm,
done, like you said, through cold outreach. So
mm,
I think we have said many times in this interview, right, to actually doing cold outreach to people on LinkedIn is important, but make sure it's personalized, make sure it's valuable. Reach
mm,
out. If you, let's say, like Derek, your most of your clients are in human resource, add as many human resource people into your network as possible, and ask them what are their needs, and that you never know, you might get a few clients there. So, and visible, and engagement, visibility, engagement, and then the last part is getting them into a conversion, which is a call. So no matter who you talk to on LinkedIn, don't sell to them. So on LinkedIn, get them onto a call, get them to a call like this, like me and Kotryna are having. That's
mm,
where you get the deals done. That's where all when this virus is over, I think you can also ask them out for coffee. You can get them on a meeting. But when this virus is here, the lead gen is done through lead gen is done by getting people on a call.
mhm. Yes,
Yeah.
and I
So
think
yeah.
the final way is, out of like all of those ways, another way is of course through pay. So through paid ways to reach your
Mm,
audience and do lead gen, and that is of course LinkedIn advertising. So easy
yes.
as that.
Yeah. Yeah. So in the paid ads, you have to offer something valuable in exchange for someone's contact. So lead. Okay, for people who don't understand, marketing lead means um, somebody's name, contact, and more information. So to get someone's information, if you're doing lead ads, whether it's Facebook, whether it's LinkedIn,
Mm,
or whether it's any other platform, you have to offer something as exchange. So for example, if Derek, you're selling stationery, offer tips like how to minimize costs when it comes to your office expenses, or how to increase
mm,
employee happiness. When you offer a lead magnet like that, you can get people who are interested in you, and yeah, it's exchange for a valuable advice. Yeah. Yeah. So thanks everyone for all your questions. I really like all your questions are very high quality, and thanks everyone on LinkedIn as well. So before Kotryna goes, after Kotryna goes, I'll talk a bit about LinkedIn intensive bootcamp that are launching. So I really want to help entrepreneurs and also business owners in Asia if they really want to use LinkedIn as a lead generation tool. So I'll talk about that a bit. So before Kotryna goes, I think Kotryna, you create content. So I think you're having a live webinar here on on LinkedIn on Thursday?
Yes, so first of all, thanks for having me. Yes, for all of those who are interested in hearing more about LinkedIn advertising and how to make an ad from the scratch, like how to create an ad, what is the campaign manager, what are the other tools in the LinkedIn advertising, join us for our webinar on Thursday. And you can find all the registration to the webinar. It's not going to be a live, but it's going to be actually a webinar, so you will receive a link to the webinar. So just go to my profile on LinkedIn, go to my latest posts, and you'll see a link there. Or else I'll try to make a post under or a comment under this live so people can find
Yeah.
it.
So please comment on Facebook and also LinkedIn as well. So we have quite an audience on LinkedIn, and I hope you all join Kotryna this Thursday as well.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah.
I think I really enjoyed answering people's questions, and and they were really really good. Thanks everyone who has been engaging with us and asking us questions.
Right. Thanks, Kotryna.
Thank you so much, and have a good rest of the day. And thanks for having me once again.
Yeah. Thanks, Kotryna, and thank you, everyone. And Kotryna. So right now, I'll talk a bit about the intensive bootcamp.
All right, I'm leaving
Kotryna,
you. Bye bye.
so I've got a lot of requests recently because I realized a lot of companies here in Malaysia, they don't really use LinkedIn. So I talked to a lot of marketing advertising company owners. I've talked to a lot of B2B marketers, and they always tell me the way that they do lead gen either is still through Google, through events, and also through just referrals. So I realized a lot of people here in Malaysia are actually not using LinkedIn for lead gen. All of the businesses are using Facebook, they are using Instagram, but they are neglecting this platform, which is LinkedIn, to actually use it for lead generation. So I have received a lot of inquiries these few weeks. Actually, got on many calls, and I've done so many online trainings here during the past few weeks. So I actually want to open it up to the public, to do this training with me as well. So I want to consolidate it, and I've launched sort of intensive bootcamp that will start this Friday. So let me show you some of the details. Uh, so if you are an entrepreneur that's looking to use LinkedIn, please comment on the comments as well. So I'll reach out to you and see how I can help you. Or very soon, or follow me on LinkedIn. I will also share with you some of the strategies when it comes to lead generation. So yeah, hold on. Let me show you. So yeah, so I will have a LinkedIn lead generation intensive bootcamp. So why I'm doing this is because I realized that a lot of entrepreneurs here in Malaysia are not using LinkedIn for lead generation. So why do you want to use LinkedIn for lead generation, right? So like I said in this webinar, you are not limited to a Malaysian market when you use LinkedIn. I have worked with clients from around the world, from Hong Kong, from Europe, and also from the US by using LinkedIn. So if you're selling a service like leadership coaching, or you're a trainer, or you are any sort of consulting business, you can not limit yourself to just the Malaysian market. You can reach out to an international audience, and we've touched about this as well. On LinkedIn, you can reach out to decision makers and C-level executives. So on LinkedIn, there's a search function for you to look for people with a certain seniority and also a certain position. So right now, if you're selling a B2C product as well, so like Derek, if you're selling it to a B2C product, you can also reach to 610 million professionals on LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, everyone has a job. Everyone is at least has a position or looking for a job. So you can reach out to 610 million professionals on LinkedIn as well. And I think we've talked about this, constantly through the interview. LinkedIn is the best platform for organic reach. When on Facebook, every time you post a content, you need to spend advertising money to actually boost it out on Instagram as well. When you post on Instagram nowadays, you don't get so much organic reach. On LinkedIn, I've posted content that get 20,000 reach. People in New York, people around the world have seen it. So all my life, you've seen people who join this webinar are from around the world. And on LinkedIn as well, you can target people by industry, by their position, and also by their title. So these are some of, so I've worked with people when it comes to LinkedIn in Malaysia and also across the world. And I just did my LinkedIn masterclass back in January. So these are some of the people that I helped through my training. So Sumati, who is a communication skills trainer. So she attended the training, and during the training as well, she posted a post and I gave her some engagement tips, and her post actually got the most engagement that she ever had during the training. And right now she's leveraging LinkedIn for her training business. She's getting more and more clients. She's getting more reach for her content. And right now she is leveraging LinkedIn as we speak. Because like I said, if you are doing a B2B marketing, you're doing businesses with other businesses, there's no other platform than LinkedIn. So I also had other people like Leonard who joined my LinkedIn masterclass, and he said it's very easy to understand and practical. So in my LinkedIn trainings as well, it's not so much about theory. I don't like to give people theory, and I like to give people actionable tips. So it's very hands-on. So in the bootcamp as well, um, it's not just about the theory that I teach you. It's not just something that you can learn and be happy about it. I'll actually give you actionable steps. I like to practice it, and we'll troubleshoot. And in 1 week, in 7 days, we'll actually get you going, so that you can actually practice what you learn and also troubleshoot all your activities on LinkedIn with me to get you on top of your game to actually generate leads from LinkedIn. So in the intensive bootcamp, so what will we cover? So I think a few questions that we answered just now. So one of the things is the profile optimization. So very importantly, when it comes to LinkedIn, it's very important to get your profile optimized. So when your profile is optimized, you generate inbound leads, you get people interested in your services. So very importantly, this is a very important part of LinkedIn as well, and we covered this just now, is lead prospecting. Because lead prospecting is where just now we talk about cold messages, connections. I actually have scripts. I actually have experience in that. I'll tell you, if you use this script, what will happen to you and how will you leverage this sort of script to get in more clients. Like I said just now, me and Kotryna shared, it's about getting connected to the right people and building that rapport and getting people onto, identifying their needs and getting them, on a sales call. So it's very important as well. So content strategy for lead generation, I think we talked about very importantly just now about um, how you can create content that generates leads for you. So very important on LinkedIn is to constantly create content, and also conversation is about creating the right conversations, to get them to a lead. So LinkedIn growth hacks as well. So just now we covered a few growth hacks. There are also a few tools for you to use on LinkedIn to actually improve your results. So there are a few growth hacks and a few tools that you can use. So if you want to join me for this LinkedIn lead generation intensive bootcamp, I actually plan to start it this Friday. Actually, it's starting this Friday. I actually get a lot of requests, and I want to do this as a group right now. So the normal price is 1,000 US dollars for a one-on-one training session, but this Friday I'm doing it as a 7-day program. So we have 8 hours of live training over Zoom. I will teach you like this. We'll go through all the slides that I have for my masterclass. We'll do it, 2 hours each day for 4 days over Zoom, and then there will be training and mentoring and also access to all replays. So you'll be also placed in a private Facebook group where you will interact with other people who are using LinkedIn for lead generation as well. So I've joined other groups recently, and it's very important to learn from peers. When it comes to LinkedIn, it's also very important to learn from other people in their experience as well. So bonus for the first 10 only, I will also include a 4 hours of one-on-one coaching. So for the current price, normally for one-on-one is 1,000 US dollars, but right now, this LinkedIn lead generation intensive bootcamp, I'm opening up to 10 people. So for the first 10 people, you get it at a price of $399 or RM 1,499. So register at bobthings.com. So I'll put the link as well. Join me for the lead generation bootcamp. And if you have any questions for this lead generation bootcamp, you can actually ask me as well. If you have any questions now, you can actually ask me live here, and I'll also answer your questions. So let me post the link. So to register, you need to go to bob.slash register, which I'll put the link on Facebook as well. So if you have any questions regarding the intensive bootcamp, do let me know as well. So I'll post the link here on Facebook. So it's bobkings.com/register. So I will also post it here as well and add banner. So go to this website and register, and you will actually register for the intensive bootcamp. And I hope to see you this Friday. So right now opening up for 10 people. So let me know. So seats are limited. So come and register because I can't handle more than 10 people. So it's a 10 group session, and if you join now, you get a one-on-one session where you'll practically deal with your questions and challenges when it comes to LinkedIn personally as well. So it's a 7-day program. 4 days will be on live training session and exercises, and then the last 3 days will be a lot of troubleshooting. Will be a lot of using the tools. There'll be a lot of Q&A. In my experience, so there will be more questions as you join. There'll be more questions as you use the tool. So so, if you have any questions regarding this right now, you can join me for the LinkedIn Lead Generation Bootcamp on this link below, and I'll see you on Friday if you have any questions. So, thank you, Vivian, she said she's taking notes on the Vivek, so taking notes on the points. So yeah, thanks for joining this webinar as well. So if you want to join me this Friday, it's starting this Friday, on the intensive bootcamp, please register in the link below, and I look forward to see you this Friday. There any questions coming in? Let me look at LinkedIn. So yeah, if you have any questions, do send me a DM or comment below after this live. So I'll hopefully see you on this Friday. And thanks so much for watching this webinar. It's been great answering all your questions with me and Kotryna. So thanks for watching this webinar, and I hope to see you. If any questions on LinkedIn, please send me a DM. And of course, please connect with me on LinkedIn as well. So thank you very much, and hope to hear from you soon.